My child, give me just 2 minutes and your life can change. Before you scroll away, before you let another distraction pull your attention somewhere else, stop for a moment and listen. This message is not appearing before you by accident. You may think you found this video, but the truth is that I guided you here. Out of the millions of things competing for your attention today, I allowed your eyes to rest on these words because I have something important to tell you. If you're trusting God with a situation that seems impossible, type, "I trust you, God," below. I know you are busy. I know your mind is carrying burdens that nobody else can see. I know there are questions keeping you awake at night. I know there are moments when you smile in front of people while secretly fighting battles within. And I know there are days when you wonder if I am still listening to your prayers. That is why I'm speaking to you now. My child, if you give me just 2 minutes, I can remind you of truths that fear has tried to make you forget. The enemy has worked hard to keep you distracted. He knows that if you truly hear my voice, his power over your thoughts begins to weaken. He knows that when you remember who I am, anxiety loses its grip. He knows that when you trust me completely, doors begin to open that no human being can shut. That is why there has been so much noise around you lately, so many worries, so many interruptions. So many reasons to doubt. The enemy does not want you to hear this message, but I do. My child, you have spent too much time focusing on what is going wrong and not enough time remembering what I am capable of making right. You look at your problems and see impossibilities. I look at those same problems and see opportunities. You see closed doors. I see future testimonies. You see delays. I see preparation. You see confusion. I see a path that is being made straight before your eyes. Trust me, if this message found you, at the right time type "Amen" and let us know you're listening. Even when you cannot understand what I am doing, trust me. Even when the answers have not arrived, trust me. Even when your circumstances seem unchanged, trust me, because I have never abandoned you. Not once. There were moments when you thought you were alone. There were seasons when it seemed like heaven was silent. There were nights when tears filled your eyes and nobody knew. But I was there. I was there when your heart broke. I was there when people walked away. I was there when opportunities disappeared. I was there when fear tried to overwhelm you, and I'm still here now. My child, the breakthrough you seek does not begin when circumstances change. It begins when your perspective changes. Many people spend their lives waiting for the perfect situation before they choose peace. But peace was never meant to come from circumstances. Peace comes from me. The world says you can have peace after everything is fixed. I say you can have peace before anything changes. The world says you can rest after the battle ends. I say you can rest because I am fighting the battle for you. The world says you need all the answers. I say you only need faith in the one who already knows the answers. Listen carefully. The burden you are carrying was never meant to be carried alone. You have been trying to solve everything by yourself. You have been exhausting your mind with endless calculations. You have been replaying conversations, analyzing outcomes, imagining worst-case scenarios, worrying about tomorrow while missing the blessings of today. What is one prayer request you are believing God to answer? Share it in the comments. My child, release it. Release the fear, release the anxiety, release the pressure, release the need to control everything. You are not the savior of your life. I am. You are not responsible for opening every door. I am. You are not responsible for making every miracle happen. I am. Your responsibility is to trust. Your responsibility is to obey. Your responsibility is to remain faithful. Leave the impossible things to me. There is something you need to understand. Many of the delays in your life have protected you from dangers you never saw. You call it a setback, I call it protection. You call it disappointment, I call it redirection. You call it rejection, I call it preparation. If I showed you everything that I have shielded you from, you would realize that some of your greatest blessings came disguised as unanswered prayers. If you believe God is working behind the scenes for you, type "God is working." There are people you wanted to keep who would have hurt you. There are opportunities you wanted to pursue that would have led you away from my best. There are paths you wanted to walk that would have ended in heartbreak. My child, trust my timing. I can see what you cannot. I know what tomorrow holds. I know the people you have not met yet. I know the opportunities that are still being prepared. I know the blessings that are already on their way. Do not judge your future based on your current circumstances. Your current chapter is not the entire story. The storm you are facing is not your final destination. The struggle you are experiencing is not your permanent address. You are passing through this season. You are not staying here forever. Listen to me. The enemy wants you to believe that nothing will ever change. He wants you to believe that your prayers are ineffective. He wants you to believe that your situation is hopeless. He wants you to believe that you have already missed your chance. But that is a lie, a powerful lie, a destructive lie. My child, as long as I am on the throne, your story is not over. As long as there is breath in your lungs, purpose remains. As long as my promises stand, hope remains. You have survived battles that should have broken you. You have endured storms that should have destroyed you. You have walked through seasons that should have defeated you. Yet here you are, still standing, still breathing, still moving forward. That is not an accident. That is evidence of my hand upon your life. I have carried you farther than you realize, and I am not finished yet. There is more ahead, more healing, more restoration, more growth, more wisdom, more joy, more peace, more favor, more opportunities, more victories. Do not let temporary pain convince you that permanent defeat is your future. What word stood out to you most in this message? Comment that word below. It is not. My child, some of you listening right now have been fighting silent battles. Nobody knows how much pressure you feel. Nobody knows how tired you are. Nobody knows how many tears have fallen when nobody else was around. But I know every detail. I know every disappointment. I know every fear. I know every prayer, and I have not forgotten a single one. Not one prayer has been ignored, not one tear has been wasted, not one act of faith has gone unnoticed. Everything matters to me. Everything, even the things that seem small, even the worries you think are insignificant, even the prayers you whispered when you thought nobody was listening. I heard them all, and I am working in ways you cannot yet see. Right now, while you are waiting, I am moving. Right now, while you are questioning, I am arranging. Right now, while you are struggling to understand, I am preparing. Never mistake silence for absence. Just because you cannot see me moving does not mean I am inactive. Seeds grow underground before they appear above the surface. Preparation often happens in hidden places. Trust the process. Trust my timing. Trust my plan, because I know exactly what I am doing. My child, there is another reason I wanted your attention today. You have allowed fear to speak louder than faith. Every day, voices compete for your attention. The voice of worry, the voice of doubt, the voice of insecurity, the voice of comparison, the voice of disappointment. But my voice is greater than them all. My voice speaks peace. My voice speaks hope. My voice speaks life. My voice speaks purpose. My voice speaks victory. Stop listening to every voice except mine. Not everyone deserves influence over your thoughts. Not every opinion deserves your attention. Not every criticism deserves your focus. Come back to my voice. Come back to my promises. Come back to my truth, because what I say about you matters more than what the world says about you. If you're waiting for a breakthrough, type, "My breakthrough is coming." The world may call you weak. I call you strengthened. The world may call you forgotten. I call you chosen. The world may call you ordinary. I call you loved. The world may call you defeated. I call you victorious. My child, do not allow temporary circumstances to redefine your identity. Your identity is found in me. You are not your failures. You are not your mistakes. You are not your fears. You are not your past. You are not the labels people placed upon you. You belong to me, and because you belong to me, your future remains secure in my hands. Today, I want you to make a decision. Choose faith over fear. Choose trust over anxiety. Choose hope over despair. Choose obedience over hesitation. Choose me over every distraction trying to pull you away, because when you do, everything begins to change. Not necessarily overnight, not necessarily instantly, but powerfully, deeply, permanently. The transformation begins within, and when your heart changes, your life begins to follow. My child, I brought you here today for a reason. You are not reading these words by accident. You are hearing my reminder that I am still with you. I am still guiding you. I am still protecting you. How long have you been praying for your current situation? Let us know in the comments. I am still providing for you. I am still fighting for you. And I am still writing your story. So do not give up. Do not quit. Do not lose hope. Do not surrender to fear, because your best chapters have not been written yet. Stay close to me. Keep praying, keep believing, keep trusting, and watch what I will do. My child, before you move on, I need you to hear something that many people never fully understand. The greatest battles in your life are not always happening around you. Often they are happening within you. The enemy knows that if he can influence your thoughts, he can influence your actions. If he can fill your mind with fear, he can keep you from stepping into the future I have prepared for you. If he can convince you that nothing will ever change, he can make you stop believing before your breakthrough arrives. That is why you must guard your heart and mind. Not every thought that enters your mind deserves to stay there. Not every fear deserves your attention. Not every negative possibility deserves your focus. My child, some of the things that worry you today will never happen. Some of the disasters you imagine will never come to pass. Some of the fears that keep you awake at night exist only in your imagination. Yet you allow them to steal your peace. You allow them to drain your strength. You allow them to rob you of joy that belongs to you. If you refuse to give up on God's promises, type, "I will not quit." Today, I'm calling you higher. I am calling you to stop living according to fear and start living according to faith. Faith does not mean pretending difficulties do not exist. Faith means believing that I am greater than those difficulties. Faith means trusting me even when answers are delayed. Faith means continuing forward even when the path is unclear. Faith means knowing that my promises remain true regardless of your circumstances. My child, there are blessings approaching your life that you cannot yet see. There are prayers already being answered behind the scenes. There are doors beginning to unlock. There are connections being arranged. There are opportunities moving closer. There are solutions being prepared. Do not become discouraged simply because you cannot see them yet. The farmer does not dig up seeds every day to check whether they are growing. He trusts the process. He waters faithfully. He waits patiently. Then the harvest arrives. In the same way, continue trusting me. Continue praying, continue believing, continue obeying. The harvest is closer than you think. I know that waiting is difficult. I know that uncertainty can be exhausting. I know there are moments when you wonder how much longer you must endure this season. But remember this, comment God's timing if you're learning to trust His timing instead of your own. If you're listening from another country, tell us where you're watching from so we can pray for you. I have never asked you to carry tomorrow. I have only asked you to trust me today. Many of your worries come from trying to live in a future that has not arrived. You are trying to solve problems that do not yet exist. You are trying to control outcomes that remain beyond your reach. You are borrowing tomorrow's burdens and carrying them today. My child, come back to this moment. Take one step at a time. Trust me one day at a time. Walk with me one moment at a time. You do not need to know everything. You only need to know that I am with you. That is enough. There are people listening right now who feel stuck. You feel as though life has stopped moving. You feel trapped between where you have been and where you want to go. You feel frustrated because progress seems slow. Listen carefully. Slow progress is still progress. Growth often happens quietly. Strongest trees spend years developing roots before they become visible above the ground. The foundation is established before the building rises. Preparation comes before promotion. Character develops before responsibility increases. Do not despise this season. Do not waste it by complaining. Allow me to teach you what you need to learn. Allow me to strengthen what needs strengthening. Allow me to prepare you for what is ahead, because where I am taking you requires a stronger version of you than the one that exists today. The challenges you face are not always punishments. Many times they are training. Many times they are preparation. Many times they are opportunities to develop the faith that will sustain you in future victories. My child, stop measuring your life against the lives of others. Comparison has stolen enough of your joy. Comparison has stolen enough of your peace. Comparison has stolen enough of your confidence. You see someone else's success and wonder why your breakthrough has not arrived. What blessing are you thanking God for today? Share your praise report below. You see someone else's blessing and question, my timing. You see someone else's progress and become discouraged. But you do not see the full story. You do not see what they endured. You do not see what they sacrificed. You do not see what I am doing behind the scenes in your own life. Your journey is unique. Your calling is unique. Your timing is unique. Do not compare your chapter 3 to someone else's chapter 20. Trust the path I have designed specifically for you. Trust the pace I have chosen for you. Trust the process I am using to shape you. Because I know exactly what you need. There are things I am developing in you that cannot be developed any other way. Patience, wisdom, discernment, compassion, strength, humility, perseverance. These qualities are worth more than temporary comfort. These qualities will carry you farther than talent alone ever could. My child, some of you have been carrying wounds from your past for far too long. If you needed this message today, type, "This message was for me." You keep revisiting old failures. You keep replaying old mistakes. You keep reliving painful memories. You keep defining yourself by chapters that I have already finished writing. Why are you living in rooms that I have already called you out of? Why are you carrying guilt that I have already offered to remove? Why are you allowing old disappointments to control your future? The past may explain you, but it does not define you. Your mistakes are not your identity. Your failures are not your future. Your worst moments are not the final verdict over your life. I am the God of restoration. I am the God of redemption. I am the God who creates beauty from ashes. I am the God who brings light into darkness. I am the God who can transform what appears broken beyond repair. Do not underestimate what I can do with a surrendered heart. There are people who counted you out, people who doubted you, people who underestimated you, people who assumed you would never recover. Never forget that their opinion is not your destiny. I have the final word, not them, not your critics, not your enemies, not your circumstances, not even your own fears. I have the final word, and when I speak, no obstacle can permanently prevent my plans. No delay can cancel my purpose. No setback can destroy my calling. No failure can erase my promises. What I have spoken over your life remains alive. Even if years have passed, even if circumstances seem impossible, even if you have stopped believing. My promises do not depend on human limitations. Comment one word that describes what you're believing God for right now. My promises depend on my power, and my power has never diminished. My child, I know there are questions in your heart. Questions about relationships, questions about finances, questions about health, questions about purpose, questions about the future. I know you want answers, but sometimes the greatest gift I can give you is not an explanation. Sometimes the greatest gift I can give you is my presence. Because explanations satisfy the mind temporarily, but my presence strengthens the soul. When you walk closely with me, you gain peace even before answers arrive. You gain confidence even before circumstances change. You gain strength even before victory becomes visible. That is why I am inviting you into deeper trust, not partial trust. Complete trust, the kind of trust that says, God, even if I cannot see the path, I know you can. The kind of trust that says, God, even when I do not understand, I choose to believe. The kind of trust that says, God, my confidence is not in circumstances, but in you. That kind of faith moves mountains. That kind of faith changes lives. That kind of faith transforms impossible situations. My child, do not forget who walks beside you. The same God who parted seas, the same God who defeated giants. The same God who opened prison doors, the same God who performed miracles, the same God who raised the dead. That same power is still available today. I have not changed. My love has not changed. My promises have not changed. My power has not changed. What I did before, I can do again. What seemed impossible before became possible through me. And what seems impossible now can also change through my hand. The story is not finished. The battle is not over. The final chapter has not been written. Keep trusting, keep believing, keep standing. Because there is movement happening even when you cannot see it. There is progress happening even when you cannot measure it. There is preparation happening even when you cannot understand it. One day, you will look back on this season and realize that what felt like delay was actually divine timing. If you're ready for a new season of peace, favor, and breakthrough, type I receive it. What felt like confusion was actually guidance. What felt like weakness was actually growth. What felt like abandonment was actually protection. And what felt impossible was simply an opportunity for me to reveal my faithfulness. So today, take a deep breath. Release your fears into my hands. Release your worries into my hands. Release your future into my hands. Stop carrying what belongs to me. Stop fighting battles I have already promised to help you fight. Stop allowing fear to make decisions that faith should be making. Trust me. Lean on me. Walk with me. And watch what happens when you stop focusing on what you cannot do and start focusing on what I can do. Because, my child, your story is far from over. In fact, some of the most beautiful chapters are still ahead. And what I am preparing for you is greater than anything fear has been trying to convince you is possible. My child, as you continue listening, I want you to understand something that can change the direction of your entire life. Many people spend years waiting for a miracle while ignoring the opportunities that I place directly in front of them. They pray for change, but resist growth. They ask for new seasons, but refuse to release old habits. They desire different results while continuing the same patterns. My child, breakthrough often begins with obedience. The small step you take today can become the doorway to the blessing you have been praying for. Before you leave, comment "God is with me" as a declaration of faith over your life today. Do not underestimate small acts of faith. A small prayer can change a day. A small decision can change a future. A small act of obedience can open a door that remains closed to everyone else. The world celebrates dramatic moments, but I often work through simple acts of faithfulness. The seed is small before it becomes a harvest. The stream is small before it becomes a river. The beginning is small before it becomes a testimony. Do not despise small beginnings. Do not become discouraged because progress appears slow. The pace may be slower than you expected, but I am still moving. You may not see immediate results, but roots are growing beneath the surface. You may not understand what I am doing, but my hand remains upon your life. My child, there is a reason I keep reminding you to trust me. Trust is not tested when everything is easy. Trust is tested when circumstances suggest that giving up would be easier. Trust is tested when answers are delayed. Trust is tested when doors remain closed. Trust is tested when you feel tired. Trust is tested when your prayers seem unanswered. Anyone can praise me when everything is going well, but those who continue trusting me during difficult seasons develop a faith that cannot be shaken by circumstances. That kind of faith becomes a foundation. That kind of faith becomes strength. That kind of faith becomes a testimony. Some of you listening right now have become weary, not physically tired alone, but spiritually exhausted. You have been carrying burdens for so long that you have forgotten what peace feels like. You have been fighting battles for so long that you have forgotten what rest feels like. You have been surviving for so long that you have forgotten what joy feels like. My child, I never intended for you to live in a constant state of exhaustion. You were not created merely to survive. You were created to walk with me. You were created to experience my peace. You were created to experience my presence. You were created to experience my love. The enemy wants to keep you overwhelmed because overwhelmed people struggle to hear my voice. But today I am calling you into stillness. Be still long enough to hear me. Be still long enough to remember my promises. Be still long enough to recognize my presence. The world is full of noise. Everyone has an opinion. Everyone wants your attention. Everyone is competing for your focus. But very few people take time to sit quietly before me. My child, when you spend time with me, something begins to change within you. Your perspective changes. Your priorities change. Your fears begin to lose their power. Your confidence begins to grow. Your spirit becomes stronger. The problems around you may remain the same for a while, but the person facing those problems becomes different, and that difference changes everything. Listen carefully. You do not need more fear. You do not need more worry. You do not need more anxiety. You need more of my presence, because my presence can calm storms that human solutions cannot fix. My presence can strengthen hearts that circumstances have weakened. My presence can bring hope where despair has settled. My presence can provide clarity where confusion has taken over. My child, there are people who hurt you. There are people who disappointed you. There are people who broke promises. There are people who walked away when you needed them most. I know those wounds are real. I know those memories still hurt. I know there are moments when the pain resurfaces unexpectedly, but do not allow what others did to determine who you become. Do not allow bitterness to take root in your heart. Bitterness feels powerful at first, but it eventually becomes a prison. Forgiveness does not mean pretending the pain never happened. Forgiveness means releasing the burden of revenge into my hands. Forgiveness means refusing to let yesterday continue controlling today. Forgiveness means trusting me to handle what you cannot. My child, some people will never apologize. Some people will never understand the damage they caused. Some people will never admit they were wrong. But your healing cannot depend on their actions. Your freedom cannot depend on their approval. Your future cannot depend on their understanding. Give those wounds to me. Give those disappointments to me. Give those memories to me. Let me heal what human effort cannot heal. Let me restore what was broken. Let me strengthen what has become weak. Because I specialize in restoration, I restore joy. I restore hope. I restore confidence. I restore peace. I restore purpose. Nothing is beyond my ability to redeem. My child, there are dreams in your heart that you have almost given up on. Dreams that seemed too distant, dreams that seemed too impossible, dreams that seemed too delayed. You have started telling yourself that perhaps they will never happen. Perhaps you missed your opportunity. Perhaps it is too late. Listen to me. If I planted the dream, I have not forgotten it. If I gave the promise, I have not abandoned it. If I started the work, I am still capable of completing it. The timing may not match your expectations. The path may not look the way you imagined. The process may take longer than you hoped. But that does not mean I am absent. Sometimes I delay a blessing because I am preparing you for it. Sometimes I delay an opportunity because I am protecting you from receiving it too early. Sometimes I delay an answer because I am developing qualities within you that will help you sustain the blessing when it arrives. Trust my timing. I know what I am doing. I see the entire picture. You only see a small part. Imagine trying to understand a giant masterpiece while looking at only one corner of the canvas. That is how limited human understanding can be. But I see the complete picture. I see where every path leads. I see every possibility. I see every outcome. And because I love you, I guide you according to what is best, not merely what is immediate. My child, I want you to stop speaking defeat over your life. Pay attention to the words you speak. Pay attention to the things you repeatedly tell yourself. Some of you have become your own worst critics. You speak more harshly to yourself than anyone else ever could. You focus on weaknesses. You focus on failures. You focus on mistakes. You focus on limitations. But I want you to begin seeing yourself through my eyes. You are stronger than you think. You are more resilient than you realize. You have survived challenges that once seemed impossible. You have overcome obstacles that appeared overwhelming. You have made it through seasons that you thought would destroy you. And you are still here, still moving forward, still growing, still learning, still becoming who I created you to be. Never underestimate the work I am doing within you. Growth is not always visible. Transformation is not always obvious, but it is happening. Every lesson is shaping you. Every challenge is strengthening you. Every act of faith is preparing you. Every moment of perseverance is building something valuable inside you. One day you will look back and realize that the seasons you wanted to escape were the seasons that developed your greatest strengths. The struggles that felt unfair taught you endurance. The disappointments taught you wisdom. The delays taught you patience. The hardships taught you dependence upon me. Nothing has been wasted. Not your tears, not your prayers, not your waiting, not your pain. I can use every part of your story for good. Even the chapters you wish had never happened. Even the moments you do not understand. Even the seasons that felt unbearable. I can weave them together into something beautiful. That is what I do. I take broken pieces and create purpose. I take setbacks and create testimonies. I take failures and create wisdom. I take wounds and create strength. My child, hear me clearly. Your future is not determined by your past. Your future is not determined by other people's opinions. Your future is not determined by current circumstances. Your future is ultimately determined by what I can do through a heart that continues trusting me. So keep moving forward, keep believing, keep praying, keep trusting, keep standing, even when progress seems invisible, even when answers seem delayed, even when emotions try to convince you otherwise. Do not quit before the breakthrough. Do not stop before the miracle. Do not abandon faith before the answer arrives. Because right now, while you are listening to these words, I am still working. I'm still opening doors. I am still arranging opportunities. I am still making a way. I am still strengthening you. I am still preparing blessings that are greater than you can currently imagine. And when the time is right, you will understand why you had to walk through this season. You will understand why certain doors closed. You will understand why certain people left. You will understand why certain delays happened. You will understand why certain battles were necessary, and when that day comes, you will see that my hand was guiding you all along. So do not fear, do not give up, do not lose heart. Stay close to me, because the story I am writing in your life is still unfolding, and the best is yet to come. My child, if you are still listening, then this part of the message is especially for you. Many people would have left by now. Many people would have allowed distractions to pull them away. Many people would have returned to their worries without taking a moment to hear my voice. But you are still here, and I want you to know that I see your heart. I see the part of you that is searching for answers. I see the part of you that longs for peace. I see the part of you that wants to believe but sometimes struggles because life has been difficult. Do not be ashamed of your struggles. Do not be ashamed of your questions. Even those who have strong faith experience moments of uncertainty. Even those who trust me deeply have seasons when they do not understand what I am doing. The difference is not the absence of questions. The difference is choosing to trust me while those questions remain unanswered. My child, I know there have been moments when you felt forgotten. Moments when you looked around and saw other people advancing while you remained in the same place. Moments when you wondered why your prayers seemed to take longer than everyone else's. Moments when disappointment tried to convince you that nothing would ever change. But hear me clearly. Delay is not denial. Waiting is not rejection. Silence is not abandonment. Just because you have not received the answer yet, does not mean the answer is not coming. Just because you have not seen movement yet does not mean I am not moving. I am always working, even when you cannot see it, even when you cannot feel it, even when circumstances suggest otherwise. My work often begins long before you recognize it. A sunrise begins before the first light becomes visible. A harvest begins before the first sprout appears above the soil. A breakthrough often begins before any outward evidence can be seen. Trust what I am doing beneath the surface. Trust the process. Trust my timing. My child, one of the greatest mistakes people make is allowing temporary emotions to determine permanent decisions. They feel discouraged and decide to quit. They feel rejected and decide they are unworthy. They feel afraid and decide they cannot move forward. They feel disappointed and decide nothing good is coming, but emotions are not always accurate. Feelings change, circumstances change, situations change, but my truth remains constant. When fear says you will fail, my truth says, I am with you. When anxiety says you cannot handle this, my truth says I will strengthen you. When disappointment says, give up, my truth says keep going. When loneliness says nobody cares, my truth says I have never left your side. My child, stop building your future on temporary emotions. Build your future on my promises, because my promises are stronger than your fears. My promises are greater than your doubts. My promises are more reliable than circumstances. There are blessings approaching your life that would amaze you if you could see them now. There are prayers that are closer to being answered than you realize. There are opportunities that are already moving in your direction. There are divine connections being arranged. There are situations changing behind the scenes. Do not lose hope at the final stretch. Some people quit just before the breakthrough. Some people abandon faith just before the answer arrives. Some people stop believing just before the miracle becomes visible. Do not let that be your story. Stay faithful. Stay hopeful. Stay close to me. Because what you cannot see today may become obvious tomorrow. My child, I want to speak to those who feel overwhelmed by responsibilities. You carry burdens for your family. You carry concerns about finances. You carry worries about the future. You carry responsibilities that sometimes feel heavier than you can bear. You wake up thinking about them. You go to sleep thinking about them. You try to solve everything at once. You try to carry everyone else's needs while ignoring your own. Listen carefully. You are not designed to carry the weight of the entire world. You are not responsible for controlling every outcome. You are not responsible for fixing every problem. Some burdens belong in my hands. Some battles belong in my hands. Some situations require my intervention rather than your endless worrying. Bring those burdens to me, lay them before me. Stop carrying what I have invited you to surrender. You were never meant to walk this journey alone. My child, I know there are dreams in your heart that remain unfulfilled, dreams you have prayed about, dreams you have waited for, dreams that seem farther away now than they did before. Perhaps you dreamed of restoration. Perhaps you dreamed of healing. Perhaps you dreamed of financial stability. Perhaps you dreamed of a relationship. Perhaps you dreamed of a new opportunity. Perhaps you dreamed of making a difference. Whatever that dream may be, remember this. If I have placed purpose within you, then purpose still exists. Do not let delays convince you that destiny has disappeared. Do not let setbacks convince you that your future has been cancelled. What I begin, I am capable of completing. What I promise, I am capable of fulfilling. My child, I need you to stop focusing so much on what you have lost that you fail to recognize what remains. Yes, some things have ended. Yes, some opportunities have passed. Yes, some people have left. Yes, some chapters have closed. But look at what remains. You still have breath in your lungs. You still have another day. You still have opportunities ahead. You still have lessons learned. You still have wisdom gained. You still have strength developed through hardship. Most importantly, you still have me. And as long as you have me, hope remains. As long as you have me, possibilities remain. As long as you have me, your story continues. The enemy wants you to focus on what is missing. I want you to focus on what is possible. The enemy wants you to count your disappointments. I want you to count your blessings. The enemy wants you to remember your failures. I want you to remember my faithfulness. The enemy wants you to live in fear. I want you to walk in faith. Choose carefully which voice you follow, because the voice you listen to most will influence the direction of your life. My child, there are moments when I intentionally remove certain people from your life, not because I want to hurt you, not because I enjoy seeing you disappointed, but because I can see what you cannot. Some people are assignments, some people are distractions, some people are lessons. Some people are blessings, and not everyone is meant to remain forever. Do not chase relationships that I have allowed to leave. Do not force doors that I have closed. Do not cling to seasons that I have ended. Trust my wisdom, trust my protection, trust my guidance. I know what belongs in your future, and I know what does not. There are times when losing something is actually gaining something greater. There are times when a closed door protects you from unnecessary pain. There are times when a difficult goodbye creates room for a better hello. You may not understand it immediately, but one day you will. One day you will look back and thank me for prayers that seemed unanswered. One day you will thank me for closed doors. One day you will thank me for delays. One day you will thank me for protection you never recognized at the time, my child. The future is not something you need to fear. The future belongs to me. Tomorrow belongs to me. The things that worry you most are already known by me. Nothing surprises me. Nothing catches me off guard. Nothing is beyond my ability to handle. So why live as though everything depends on you? Why carry anxiety about things beyond your control? Why allow fear to dominate your thoughts? Place your trust in me. I have guided you this far. I have sustained you this far. I have protected you this far. I have provided for you this far, and I will continue to do so. There are still victories ahead. There are still blessings ahead. There are still miracles ahead. There are still answers ahead. There are still opportunities ahead. There are still moments of joy ahead. Do not allow a difficult season to convince you that a beautiful future does not exist. It does, and I am already there, waiting for you, preparing the way before you, making paths where none seem to exist, opening doors at the right time, arranging circumstances according to my purpose. My child, hear this with all your heart. You are loved more than you realize. You are stronger than you feel. You are closer to your breakthrough than you think. You are being guided even when you feel uncertain. You are being protected even when you do not recognize it. You are being prepared even when the process feels uncomfortable, and you are never, ever alone. So keep moving forward. Keep trusting. Keep believing. Keep praying. Keep standing, because the God who brought you this far will not abandon you now. The God who began this work in your life will continue it. The God who carried you through yesterday will carry you through tomorrow. And the God speaking to you today is already preparing blessings that will remind you that every moment of waiting was worth it.